Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys for another episode of our Let's Talk Arsenal series. Joining you at 8 a.m. I know, strange one, especially considering you're seeing an American on my 8 a.m. show. It would be about 3 or 2 in the morning or whatever it is usually. But of course, we are pre-recording this. I didn't want to leave you guys without any content at 8 a.m. And so I've pre-recorded this show. And as we do, well, as you watch this, I'm going to be going up to Everton. So that's why I can't do the usual show, because I'm going to be on the way up to Goodison Park. I'm joined by John. How you doing, John? You good, you well?
Great. Thanks everyone for tuning in early.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. They're used to it, to be fair, by
Yeah,
now.
that
So there should be no excuses for not turning up and
it's
waking up early for the show.
the game. The game is at 6:30 a.m. my time, so that'll be fun.
Wow. Wow.
That'll be
Yeah, that is to be fair, I'm getting up at 5:30 a.m. to drive up. So it's going to be a mission. And I'm hoping that I'm still awake as you guys are listening and watching to this one. But this is one of our tier list episodes in which we kind of categorize the players. And you guys have asked for this specific video. You asked for a halfway point tier list review of all of the players. I would have liked to have done it live. But to be honest, it's just fits into the schedule in this place really quite nicely. So it was either this or nothing. So I know that you can't obviously rate and I can't leave your comments, but because this is going to be a premiere, you will have a live chat. So there is a live chat going on whilst we're actually showing this. And of course, if you listen to this on playback, you'll be able to leave all your ratings of the players in the comment section below. So to show you and give you the rules and the lay of the land, you should, if you've watched one of these before, know how this works. But we've got 5 different categories that myself and John have got to come to a unanimous decision on between these players. So we've got to manage to agree more than 25 times, which is quite incredible for Arsenal fans, but we'll see how it goes. But of course, at the top tier of players, of course, the players that we feel have been standing out amongst the rest, those that of course have still been very good, those that we would classify as just decent, and then we go down to below expectation, and then lastly we've got the underperformed section, but also a section for players that we think haven't been really playing enough to rate. So there is going to be some crossover. It is unfortunate that we can't get 6 categories, but it's just the way that it goes. Some people also say that it should be green at the top, but we're the Arsenal, so surely red has to be the best thing possible. We're going to kick off, John, with Matt Turner, of all players. So tell me what you've made of your fellow countryman since arriving at Arsenal.
So here's the thing about doing this. It's going to be very difficult since everyone's pretty good. So
Yes, we might have to change a few around at the end.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. I'm going to go with very good, and I'll tell you why.
Wow.
Part of it is the American bias, right? He's obviously my countryman, and I'm very proud of him. I think
he did. At all.
he did excellent at the World Cup. So I think I factor that in. But I'm just considering Arsenal season, and I think he's been very impressive every time he's stepped in for the games that he has. I mean, he's kind of occupying almost a sweeper keeper role, which I really didn't expect too much. He definitely seems comfortable. It was a little shaky maybe at first, but he's definitely, it's teetering between decent and very good. But I haven't been able to point to a game where he's, really messed things up. And I think most of the time he's on the pitch, it's very calm and collected. So I kind of like it. Very good.
Yeah, me too. I think he has been very good. I think it'd be underplaying putting him in the decent section.
I agree.
Because I think he's been better than decent. It might be that we put him at the back end of the very good section. We'll see how we get on. But no, I think he's been very, very good this season. Next one is obviously the man in front of him, Aaron Ramsdale. Where would you be placing our number 1 goalkeeper?
I mean, top tier, Aaron Ramsdale.
Yeah.
I mean, I think so. I think that there's an argument that you could put him in very good as well, because there's some questionable things, but that's going to happen every time. And when you have the second best defense in the league, it's hard not to.
Good point.
It's hard not to put him in the top. And you know what? For me, his personality is a lot of it too. Because well, and it's funny. It's a joke, but it's also kind of true, because we're looking at the mentality of the side and the vibes at this club right now, and I think that's something that's not necessarily related to him making saves or distributing the ball that's been contributing to how good we've been playing this season. So just his personality, is there a way to put him in between very good and top tier?
Going to do, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to move Turner along slightly because I think we think he's been better than Turner, and we're going to move Ramsdale to kind of part way between the two. There we go. That's them situated just between the two. I think that's probably a fair rating. So we're already cheating, and we're 2 players in. That's how this is going to go.
This is not looking good, man. Everyone's going to be.
Go on, everyone's going to be what?
Everyone's going to be on that line, like either top tier or very good.
Ben White. How good has Ben White been this season?
Very good.
Really? I would have put him in top tier. I think he's been excellent. I think he's been so good.
All right. I could see that. And the reason why is just I don't think anyone expected him to be as good as he was. And for that, I would agree. You know what? I'll agree. Let's put him top tier. If I'm saying the defense is the second best in the league, and I have to put him there, he's one of the big reasons why we have the second best defense in the league. So, yeah, top tier for me too.
I think he's just, considering the fact that he played centre back last season, he's been put into this right back role. He's developed his game going forwards. He's had very few games where I thought you wouldn't say, I thought the Man United game was probably his worst of the season when he was taken off at half time. And maybe there's some recency bias in that to affecting some people's opinion. I think he's been brilliant this season. So
yeah. Fair.
Tomiyasu, interesting because he's not been able to play loads, but if you remember, he was brought into that game against Liverpool and he shut out Salah and Nunez on their right hand side. But then there were some other games he had, like the Leeds game. I remember I really got frustrated with his performance in that one. But then in the last game, we think about the Man United game, came on the second half and was great. So it's where would you put Tomiyasu?
So here's going to be a little like verbal gymnastics here. I'm going to actually put him at below expectation.
Really?
And I'll tell you why. Not because he's not a good player and he hasn't been playing well, but I actually expected him to be that right-sided, defender. And just because of Ben White coming in and doing what he did, I didn't expect that. So him not starting every game at that right back position is actually below my expectations for him going into the season. So
okay,
that doesn't necessarily see what I'm saying. That doesn't necessarily say that anything wrong with him as a player, but more how good Ben White has been. I think you would put him in the decent to very good category.
Yeah,
generally,
I'm slowly edging him up into the
do it
between the two.
But you see how, in my opinion, that the words below expectation actually meets it more, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I do see what you're saying. Because the expectation at the start of the season would have been that he's going to be our starting right back. After what we did last season.
Exactly.
He's had some good displays. He's had some not so good displays. I think that maybe, and I'm preempting what people are going to be saying while we're talking, but I think some people may have initially said decent. Maybe some people said below as well. So I think maybe we've got that right. I'll be interested to watch the chat back once when this goes out. Once I've got to Goodison Park. Now this is, I think we're going to have to put this one obviously into not played enough because Kivior has not played at all for us. So this is a really quick, easy one for us. But Jakub Kivior goes into the not played enough. What do you make of the signing though? Just to get a word on him.
I think you should put him in top tier. He's breaking all of our records.
He's done nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing. He's done nothing wrong. So
he hasn't put a foot wrong.
Breaking records. Unbelievable. Yeah, but he's rapid apparently. Absolutely rapid. So who knows? I thought that Saliba was going to be the quickest centre back I'd ever seen at Arsenal, but maybe Kivior will give Saliba a run, quite literally, for his money.
He's going to give Walcott a run for his money, apparently.
Already.
No, but I think it's a very smart signing, and you're seeing all these reports now of all the other teams that were in for him, and it's kind of nice to be able to beat those teams out to a signature of a very young, hot prospect. And I think it's just kind of testament to what we're building here, that we're such a good, like a cool, exciting place for young talent to want to join and develop. So, credit to everyone that's made that possible. But yeah, definitely not played enough, obviously.
Yeah, I'm going to put the not played enough to the right-hand side of that bottom and then the underperformers to the left. It might cross over, we'll see. But that's what I'm going to do. Saliba, I mean, do I need to say anything more than top tier?
No.
He is obviously
best centre back in the league.
I mean, since the World Cup, I think he has dipped a bit and there's been some mistakes in his game, which I think have been highlighted more because of the fact he was on 4 yellow cards and he was playing with that over his head a bit. But he has been, up until the World Cup, minimum, he's been the best centre-back, arguably maybe in Europe, let alone just in the Premier League. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
I was going to
yeah.
let you come in there.
No, I think you're
Stunned
right.
into silence by it.
No,
Yeah.
no. It was brilliant analysis, and I think he is. I think he came in here, and we were kind of had high hopes. We were saying, look, finally he's in the side. Maybe he'll get a couple games, and then he just became undroppable from the start of the season. And there was a little nerve wreck. It was a little nerve wracking when he had that own goal, and then all of a sudden, the whole team got behind him, and then it was, unbelievable since then. And he's not perfect. He makes mistakes. We see them, but he's so solid there, and the way he just marshals attackers, and he's just huge. He's just a big physical guy that you can't really train that. I mean, you could train getting strong, but you can't train being this big physical presence. Everyone talked about Virgil van Dijk and this kind of essence that he had, right? Well, if he had it, then I think Saliba has it as well.
Realised I've just got, as I said to John, I literally just got back from the Colney, and I've realised there's one thing I didn't plug in, and it's my charger. So that's now in. We're not going to lose the streak. But I'm just swapping over White and Saliba because I think Saliba has to be above White in the list of top tiers.
So I just want to clarify the rules here.
Yes.
So it's not just vertically, we're also ranking them.
No, we're all going to try and do it horizontally as well, which obviously with Ramsdale being in between, it looks like he's ahead of Saliba here. He's not because he's in between, but he's at the higher end of the in-betweens. It's going to get confusing, people, but you're going to have to run with it, I'm afraid. It's just, we'll see what happens. I'm going to go with Gabriel next because that's his centre-back partner. I think very good is where we've got to put him. Would you want to put top tier?
I would put him in between very good and top tier.
Okay.
I think people may disagree with that, but he is. I was watching his highlight video, and I didn't realize exactly how much. And I know highlights don't tell the whole picture, but it's just when you look at all of his goals together this season, when you look at where he is on the pitch, he's that. I'm going on an adventure defender in our back line, right? The one where he's almost like a second defensive midfielder half the time. There was videos, I think it might have been against Chelsea, or maybe in Leicester. Either one. It's Partey and him double teaming someone right near the center line, and that's just great. It's just great for me. So I would put him, again, second best defense in the league. They have to be. It's hard to say, we have the second best defense in the league, and then one of our most active defenders is not at least touching that top tier line, right?
Yeah, no, I do see what you're saying. I'm just trying to do a little arrow section. You see, I'm editing this as I go. That's the level that we're running with here. So there's a little arrow at the bottom now. Hopefully, you should see where it says best. So it's going in that direction is the arrow. Oh dear, my planning astounds me. Anyway, I agree with you, Gabriel. Yeah, I remember writing a piece on him earlier in the season where I kind of talked about the myth busting of him. Like people just think he's got kind of this error in him now and again, and sure he has, but I think he responds to those errors really well. And recently, I don't think he's shown any errors, to be honest, at all in his game. I think he's come a really long way.
But defenders are going to make errors. If you're that physical, if you're that, it's going to happen. It's a question of, can your teammates cover for you and everything. And we just happen to be able to. So I don't think he makes enough that he gets knocked out of at least touching that top tier position.
Sound. Rob Holding next. Tricky one.
Ooh, that is a tricky one.
He's come off the bench and been solid when called upon. Obviously, recently we watched the Man City game. I thought I was really critical of him in that game against City. But I listened to the Vision podcast, and Clive really bigged him up in that game and said, he shut out Haaland, who didn't score. He kind of threw himself at him the entire game and just broke up his game and got Haaland focused on him rather than that. But he was booked and taken off at half time. And I thought if he'd have stayed on, it would have really cost us. So it's tricky to know. I'm tempted to put him in the decent to below expectation. I
think that's a fair shout. I was tempted to put him just square decent. I didn't have, and again, remember, I'm looking at below expectations as what did I expect of him, and he's doing exactly what I expected of him to shore up games if we need to rotate and to not drop points. And to an extent against City we did, but cup game and it's against Holland, he did well enough, minus being taken off. So I would say he's performed about what I expected and done the job that he's supposed to do.
Next is Kieran Tierney. I have a feeling that we might be putting him in the below expectation category. Is that probably fair?
Yes, and I'll tell you specifically why. I think, and this I love Kieran Tierney, by the way. I think most Arsenal fans do. I think he came in a time where he started shining for us, in a time where we were struggling with this problem where we felt like the players really didn't give all they could on the pitch. And here's this player that just comes in. He's like this cool old school, short sleeve, tucked in shirt player who's just busting his gut every time he runs on the pitch. And that was such a breath of fresh air. And at the time, that was very exciting for us. But now that's the standard. Every player is like that. So in order to set yourself apart on the pitch, I think there needs to be more. And from a technical aspect and from a progressive aspect, to be able to progress as a player. And I think there's an argument that Kieran Tierney has, but I think that he's starting to fall behind his peers in terms of his ability to impact games now. And I don't want to say he's a one-dimensional player, because I think that's kind of reductive, but I think that he's struggling to reach that next level compared to the rest of the team. So for that reason, I would put him in the below expectations category as well.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, the expectation on that left back role is kind of, it's significant now, and you have to play this different style that Zinchenko, we'll talk about in a second, has absolutely flourished in. And when he has played, we have lacked that. We've lacked that inverted style. He's tried to do it in some games, and in others, it's just kind of reverted to him playing that more stylistic left back role. So let's leave him there. I think that's probably fair. You let us know in the comment section if you think we're being too harsh. Zinchenko, where would you put Zinchenko in this?
So it's on the back of my shirt, so he's going top tier.
I think I knew where this was going. Yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
where would you put, better than Ben White?
Better than Ben White, yes.
Better than Saliba?
I would put him about where Saliba is. It's hard not. Yeah, I think that the inclination is to put Zinchenko above Saliba, just because it's an attacking player versus defender. But I don't know if you really want to be honest about it. I would say that they have about the same impact in transitioning the team, from offensive solidity to attacking fluidity. Both of those are top tier. So I would put them about next to each other.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think Zinchenko has been unbelievably good. So, yes, I can't say too much other than that. Thomas Partey, where has your view of him been in this team?
Okay, so obviously I think he's one of a handful of world-class players on our team, in my opinion. That being said, the injury is concerning. The injury. So are we
back? He should be back.
Not just necessarily this one, the last one as well. So are we factoring that in?
I don't think so. I think he's just been great.
Okay. Because I was kind of hoping he'd be less injured. So that was my expectation.
Okay. Well, how many games has he missed? He missed the Man United game, the Aston Villa game. He missed he didn't miss the Man City game. He came off the Man City game. I think he's only missed 2 games. Is he not?
Has he? If he is, then I've
need to check that. I'll do a quick check on that. But I'm pretty sure he's only missed 2 games. I'm trying to think of any other fixtures he's missed, obviously outside of in Premier League senses. I'm pretty sure it might be 3. It's right. 4. Okay, he missed 4. So he missed Fulham, Villa, Man United. Oh no, sorry, it's 3 because one of them is Everton, and that's been postponed.
Right.
So 3 games. He missed Fulham, Villa, and Man United.
All right, top tier. Because here's the thing: I thought it was more than that, and that just goes to show how good he is. That when he's missing, it feels like an eternity.
It's a long time that he's been out. Yeah, better than Ben White.
Why is it always? Is it better than Ben White? Is that like the litmus?
Because he's the bottom of the best of the top tiers, so I have to work out if he's better than Ben White or not.
All right.
I think he's been better than Ben White, so I'm gonna put him above.
Ben White's just slowly moving.
There you go. Oh, it's just the way I'm using my keyboard to do this, so it's just like it just looks funny. Mohamed El Neni, who of course is now injured, I think it has to go into. I mean, do I put him in not played enough because he's played like 5 games and 3 of them were off the bench? So
I'm actually going to put him in below expectations. Between not played enough and below expectations, because the expectation was that he'd be our backup, and that is not the case this season up until now. That he's just that you can't really. It's not his fault. Like, he got an injury that could potentially end his season. But we haven't seen a lot from him, and I'm sure he's upset about that, and we're obviously upset about that. So,
Yeah. Obviously, Jorginho is in here, but has not played, so has to go next to Kivior at the moment. Albert Sambi Lokonga, who's gone on loan to Crystal Palace.
Underperformed.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think? He's still got a career at Arsenal?
Possibly. Depends how he does it at Palace, and it depends what we do in the summer. I think that he's low on the pecking order for starting for Arsenal at any point. He might be able to squeak in at that backup role, depending. He's obviously young. There's obviously potential there. He's obviously going to be training with one of the best historical Premier League players at that position.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's probably done at this stage. And I don't like saying that because I don't like saying that about any Arsenal players. But I think that what we need to do in the summer, with more quality to be brought in, we have to make sure that we do. And he's just not, I don't think, going to be able to compete with what we're going to have. Granit Xhaka, I mean, it's top tier, right? Surely.
Well, I mean, that's my buy. I love Granit Xhaka. So,
has he been better than White and Partey?
Oh man, it's so difficult, right? Because no,
no. Okay, what has he been better than White?
Here, it's so okay. So I'm trying to sort out. Like, I think he's been one of the best attacking midfielders in the league this season.
Yeah, it's mad to say the words attacking midfielder, isn't it? Because he has. Right. He's been so good going forward.
Yeah, I think that's a good place. Oh man, yeah, I don't know.
I'm putting him there. I think that's probably fair. I think that's and the thing is, I think White's been so good, as well. Oh, this is really horrible. I will make some changes at the end and clean it up a bit. But yeah, I think Xhaka has to go. And there's rumours of him potentially getting a new deal. Do you think that? I mean, you'd have thought when he renewed his deal last time and fans lost their minds. I think I was included a little bit in that, thinking, really, more, more of Xhaka. And now I'm like, yes, give me more of Xhaka. That's kind of where we're at with him.
Yeah, it's it's amazing, that story. He's the greatest redemption arc story. If we just imagine he lifts the Premier League trophy. I mean, where are we now? In terms of him as a trajectory of his career, it's amazing. So yeah, top tier for me.
Yeah, I agree. Martin Odegaard. It's another top tier. I'm wondering where on earth you put him in the top tier list, isn't it?
And this is what I said in the beginning. Where?
Yeah, I think he's been better than White, Xhaka, Partey. I think he's been better than Zinchenko because Zinchenko's injuries maybe knock him down a bit. To be fair, maybe Zinchenko is too high because of the amount of injuries he's had, and he missed a significant portion of the season as well.
You know what? That's a good shout.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well I'm gonna put Odegaard above. I'm actually going to put him above Saliba. I think he's been better than Saliba. And that's high praise. I think
for,
at the moment,
for Odegaard, especially because he's captain, right? I mean, that's
so good.
Yeah.
Right. He's going above Saliba. Chat books can have their say, of course, at the end of this when we clean this up a bit. Fabio Vieira, I'm going to put this below expectation.
Yes.
For me.
Yeah.
I think that's obviously he's a victim of not getting enough minutes, but there's been performances where I've wanted to see more from him, and I haven't been able to see that. I actually, asked Arteta today about whether or not Kivior and him are going to get enough minutes because they're young players that need to play and they're playing behind established players. And he was basically like, I can guarantee that they're going to get the minutes. So we'll see if he kind of makes good on that promise. But it's tough to know. What have you made of him in what you've seen of him? I like him. It's just he's not getting enough consistency, is he?
Yeah, I think that there's a shout there. I think that in order to, I'm concerned about just the physicality, right? And that's the thing for me. I think he's going to get starts. I think the manager obviously rates him, but it's a question of a physical aspect, and that's easier than a technical aspect, right? Being able to put on weight and be able to strengthen and lift weights, that's clearly easier than learning how to play football. So, easier, quote unquote. So I put
indeed. Let's go to Leandro Trossard. He has played, so we can rate him. In the 1.5, well, actually in the 70 minutes that we've seen of him play, I think you just have to put him in decent. I think he's been decent. I think he's been very good in the games he's played, actually, ironically, but I feel a bit harsh putting him in very good when he's not played loads. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that with Trossard, what he's done has been good when he stepped onto the pitch, but I almost would want to put him at not played enough before I make any determination.
It's probably fair if we put him in not played enough.
Yeah. I would put him in not played enough / decent.
I can't do that.
Those. I know.
You're trying to break the algorithm now.
I know, but that's where I would put.
Okay, we'll put him there for now. I think that's fair. Maybe in the comment section, if you're basing it off these performances we've seen from him, where would you put him? Smith Rowe, again, not played enough. I think you just have to put him there, don't you? Because he's just, again, not played enough so far. Yes. Saka. Now, again,
can you put him above, top tier?
Yeah, I mean, has he been the best player in the team this season? Is he been better than Odegaard?
No, I mean you got to put him top tier, but I would put him next to Odegaard.
Yeah, I agree. So we're going to shuffle back everyone behind Odegaard.
He's kind of the easiest one to put, just in the sense that
I think Odegaard's done it for the longer portion of the season. You remember at the start of the season, Saka was getting a bit of question. He was being questioned about his consistency, and then he scored against Man United, of course, away from home in the game we lost, and then it started to click. Whereas I think Odegaard has shown over a longer period this season, he's been better in more games than Saka, scoring goals from a trickier position to score goals from. But Saka's assisting has been unreal. He's created so many goals. It's so hard, Chat box should have to let us know. Marquinhos, we have seen him play. And he's played in the Europa League, scored on his debut, got an assist as well in that Zurich game, came off the bench in a few more. He's gone on loan now, of course. I've actually not put Cedric in this list because I didn't feel it was fair to include him. But
I put him below, not played enough.
Yeah, I think it's tough because I feel like I really liked him in that display against Zurich, but then he's not. Has he not started another game since then?
We haven't seen him in a while. And
maybe he started against Brighton in the League Cup game, and he, I think it'd probably be harsh to rate him based upon what we've seen so far. So we'll put him there. We'll put him in not played enough, but at the top end. Reece Nelson.
Not played enough.
Yes, but those 2 goals against Nottingham Forest,
those were great.
I kind of want to put him in decent because I haven't been disappointed by him when he's come on the field, really, other than the game against Bodo away from home. And that's a memory, trying to remember that game. But I'm going to pull rank here, John, and I'm going to put him in decent. I think I've seen enough of him in that one game against Forest where he lit it up and basically got us sparked off a 5-0 win. I want to put him in decent. Martinelli.
Martinelli, I mean, he's been amazing. I think his form has dropped a little bit recently.
Yes.
So I would put him between very good and top tier.
Yeah, let's put him there. I think some people would be saying just very good.
You know what? I could see that.
Yeah, I don't. It's tricky because in some games he has been so good and has won us games. But in this Arsenal team, when you're looking at the players we've got here, has Ben White been better than Martinelli? I think probably more consistently for his position across the season, he's been better. So, yes, I actually might say I think Gabriel Magalhaes has been better than him. I'm going to put him in the very good at the top end of the very good. I'm going to clean this up, as I say, at the end, and it will look more clean. Eddie Nketiah.
I mean,
this is a good one.
That's a difficult one. I mean, here's the thing. I'm comparing him.
He hasn't played until the World Cup ended, has he?
I got to say this. I'm comparing him to what we brought him in for, right?
Jesus.
Why do we bring him in to be a backup? As a backup player stepping in, and with all the pressure on him, he's been top tier, right? I can't think of historically, and he's done it 2 seasons in a row now. So as a backup player, he's top tier. He's putting up goals at a level that's top tier comparative to the Premier League as well. So it's not just compared to other, backup strikers. It's 2 strikers generally.
Indeed. I don't disagree. I think the games that you assess of what he's done since the World Cup, he's replaced Jesus. He's scored more goals in a smaller frame of time than Jesus. I think he's our top scorer now, is he not? Across all competitions. So, I mean, what more can you ask of Eddie Nketiah? And the last one is Jesus, who, of course, has been missing since the World Cup. Obviously, played plenty of games. In fact, he played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Premier League games before the World Cup. Are we putting him in top tier for those games he played? Or are you putting him on the border because of his injury? That's harsh.
I mean, he has to be top tier just based off of like how he transformed our attack right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
He has to be.
So that completes things. I'm just going to tie this up a bit because I think Ramsdale and Gabriel can't obviously be at the head of this long queue of players at the top. But it means in top tier, we've got Martin Odegaard's, and this in this order, unless you want to change some things. Martin Odegaard, Xhaka, William Saliba, Alexander Zinchenko, Granit Xhaka, Ben White, Eddie Nketiah, and Gabriel Jesus. That's the order. Are you happy with that order for the top tier?
Is Odegaard our best player?
See, for me, I think he is.
Okay.
I think, as I said, when we were doing it across the whole season, I think he's put in the most top performances. Whereas if you look at like Saka, there was that period at the beginning where he's a bit off.
Yeah.
Saliba, there's this period now where he's been slightly lower than what we knew before the World Cup.
Right.
Zinchenko's had the injury. Partey's had the injury. Xhaka has been very good. I'm tempted to put Xhaka above Partey, to be honest. It's touch and go between
I would disagree. I would disagree with that as much as I love Xhaka. I mean, I feel like there's other players right now
next
that can
to each other.
I feel like
here's
my argument. I feel like there's players that could play that attacking left-sided midfield role. I don't think there's any players that can do what Partey does.
Okay, that's fair. I think you've convinced me. So yes, top tier is Odegaard, Saka, Saliba, Zinchenko, Partey, Xhaka, Ben White, Eddie Nketiah, and Gabriel Jesus. I feel like Jesus is low there, but I suppose with the injury, you can't really put him any higher than that. Whereas everyone else,
but we're putting him above Eddie too.
But I think Eddie. I think that Eddie is like, I knew Jesus was great. Like, I knew he was a great player, and he's been great since coming in. But Eddie, end of last season, which we're not counting, in fairness, it's just this season, but he's come in again, and he's scored more than Jesus, and he's just continued to be brilliant. And in big games, as well. Like, his performance, even though not scoring against Spurs, brilliant. 2 goals against Manchester United, excellent. I think that it's this period. Like January last year was terrible. I don't think we won a single game. We lost to Man City at the start of the January. This January, we had all the questions. Newcastle, Spurs away, and then Man United. And we had Eddie starting in all 3 of those games, and he was directly involved, either with a goal or with his contribution on the field with why we won them. And I think he's just been, I have to put him above Jesus because I've actually appreciated him more than I've appreciated Jesus. And that's not to say I don't. It's not like when you say on Twitter, like, I love waffles, and someone's come back and says, well, why do you hate pancakes? It's not that situation. Like, I love that. I like them both a lot, as I do pancakes and waffles. In fact, pancakes, I think I like them more. But in this case, Nketiah is my pancake.
that's objectively incorrect.
In the mid, between top tier and very good, we've got Gabriel Magalhaes and Aaron Ramsdale. I feel as though Martinelli's been better than Aaron Ramsdale. I feel harsh putting him below him. Do you know what I mean?
Martinelli's been better than. Well, I don't think I wanted to put. Did I want to put Martinelli in very good, or did I say in between? Like,
yeah, you did. Oh, mate, this is so hard.
This is a mess.
This is a mess. Some people will be saying we shouldn't even be allowed to put them in between the tiers. So.
Well, then we put them all on top. Let's see.
Because what this does is, for some people, they look at this and go, "You think Matt Turner's been as good as Gabriel Martinelli?" You know what I mean?
So here's the point. I think it's hard for us, with our defense being the second best in the league, not to put everyone involved in the defense either in very good or top tier. probably in the middle between them, right?
Yeah.
I guess you can make the same argument for our front three. I think if you put, I think you would
have more goals this season, to be honest. But,
yeah.
And that's really nitpicky, but yeah,
I would maybe put Martinelli in between top tier and very good with them, with Gabriel and Ramsdale.
Right, we'll put him there. I think
but
this is what
we have like no very good players. They're all. It's like either you're
very good,
super good, either you're top tier or you're decent, whatever.
Yeah,
except for Turner.
We are really cheating, and the chat box I reckon is like there's so many like angry emojis being thrown in when we do this. Anyway, yes, in the very good tier we got Matt Turner. In the decent tier we've got Rob Holding and Reece Nelson. In the in between decent and below expectation we've got Takehiro Tomiyasu. Below expectation has been Tierney and Fabio Vieira. Between below expectations / not played enough is Mohamed El Neni, and then in underperformed we've had Sambi Lokonga, and then Marquinhos, Smith Rowe, Trossard, Jorginho, and Kivior, and Cedric if he was here would be in not played enough. How happy are you with this? Do you feel conflicted, or are you happy?
No, I think we're good. As good as it's a very difficult thing to do, but I'm good with this.
Chat box. Comment section, let us know on a scale of 1 to furious how annoyed you are with us with this rating. I think we've done a good job. I think we have, considering the circumstances of how good our team has been this season, I think this is about as fair as we could get it. And we have broken the rules somewhat as well to be able to put this together. But if you want in the comment section, if you want to write out all the players that we've done, which will take you some time, but maybe if someone does it first, someone will just copy and paste the rest of them into other comments and then put your own rating of either top tier, very good, decent, below expectation, underperformed, or not played enough. But yeah, it's a fun game. We've done this a few times. I've really enjoyed it. I like doing it with transfer targets and stuff like that, which I'm sure will return in the summer. And at the end of the season, I'm sure we'll do another one of these where we rank the players in the season, hopefully as Premier League champions. How nice would that be to know that the next tier list will be after the season is finished and maybe as a Premier League winners medal. John, thank you so much for your time this afternoon / this morning, of course, for yourself and those listening right now. Tell people they can find you and what you're going to be up to.
At 305 Cast and just watching Arsenal hopefully lift the title by the end of the season.
Yes, we'll of course be watching Everton later today. It's noted saying today by the time you're listening to this. But do drop a like on the video and do appreciate the effort that goes into trying to make sure you've got a show every single day at 8 a.m, even when I'm not even going to be there. Because it's worth it. I want to make sure you guys have got something to watch with your cuppa and your breakfast in the morning. So I hope you've enjoyed this interactive show. I say interactive, you've not been able to engage with you, but of course you've been able to engage with one another in the live chat and of course hopefully in the comment section as well. You can find John on Twitter at 305cast, as he says. You can find myself at Tom Cantamedia at the Gooner Talk TV. I've got a piece out this morning talking all about Kivior and Fabio Vieira and conversations with Mikel Arteta and what he's guaranteed them. You can watch and read back the press conference as well that I was attending yesterday on the Arsenal way as well. So make sure you go and do that. And fingers crossed we get a result later on today against Everton, because it's going to be a very tough game that we've not actually won at since 2017 was the last time we won at Everton. Another record to put to bed. Fingers crossed we can do it. Have a fantastic day. And as always, up the Arsenal. Oh, no, I can't find the thing. Where's the thing? I've lost the thing. I can't find the outro.
Can you edit that out?
It's disappeared. Have I deleted it? Well, here it is. I found it. See you later, guys. I found it now.